Guys, so today's video is going to be talking about the Vol'jian culture and society and social structure. So I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in the video topic today. So Vol'jian culture, history, and society is really based around city-state wars. From the beginnings, they were just a warrior caste. There are three different types of castes. You got the peasant caste, the citizen caste, and the warrior caste. Basically a warrior culture. And from the beginning, there was just a bunch of city-states that were involved in wars, constantly fighting each other for dominance and control between many noble and royal families, which royal and noble families dominated most of the caste systems. Those with higher money, higher power, higher control of the military, because since Vol'jians were a warrior culture, they expanded upon their cities as well and basically dominated whatever they could as these city-states grew and grew more and more powerful over the centuries and millennia. Until one city-state managed to unite all the other city-states, and the Vol'jians got on together in terms of what should they do with society. So of course they went towards economics and society and cultural changes, and decided to say that it should only be based around the warrior culture caste, which the warrior caste should be in control of everything, while the other two castes should be in the minor. So of course the warrior caste and warrior bloodlines became very important in Vol'jian culture and society. And the Vol'jians over time grew away from this medieval-like medieval age style of fighting each other into this technology to highly advanced futuristic technology because of the unknown regions, and over time the Vol'jians became the dominant masters of the unknown regions alongside the Chiss and many other powers like the CC Rook or the Rakata or whoever. And their cities grew to massive degrees, and they became the most dominant power in their own right. But sadly, over time, as an first empire of the Vol'jians decayed over time, their first empire fell apart, and they eventually fought each other once again, sparking into civil war for over a decade or centuries, until finally, most of the Vol'jian society and culture was almost seemed lost, as most of their cities, as we all know, were either destroyed or they just simply lost most of their infrastructure to this massive civil war that was going on, and it killed trillions of Vol'jians. Some of these cities were never rebuilt. Like I mentioned before in my past previous videos, they were never rebuilt, and they were never going to be populated ever again. I mean, some of these cities you might say would be more famous or whoever, and yet they'll never be rebuilt ever again. This decay of the empire, broken empire, finally came across the Rakata when they finally enslaved them and treated them much like other species of the Vol'jian Empire, like slaves and little toys, as you will. The Rakata treated the Vol'jians so badly compared to other species, it was not really a joke. And they forced into slave labor, concentration camps, death camps, whatnot. Think of all the horrible realities of it, and force them to go undermine cities to make them starve to death. This biggest hatred and whatnot was so strong with the Vol'jians against the Rakata that they literally sparked the first civil war, which happened for decades, but it was crushed. The second one was much more longer, had a bigger decade-long war, and the second rebellion was finally successful, and they managed to kick off the Rakata off their homeworld. Well, not off, actually. I mean, they killed most of the Rakata from their homeworld, then they kick them off. And they wanted to begin their second Vol'jian empire, which they finally expanded upon and allowed two species to join their empire, which I will explain later. And the Vol'jians became what, we know, as military dictatorship. So are the Vol'jians' culture and warrior identity similar to that of Mandalorians? Well, actually, that's going to be a no. Because unlike Mandalorians, who allow everyone to join them in their ranks, the Vol'jians don't allow anyone to join their ranks. It's usually rare. And And the reason why for this is because Vol'jians don't look at themselves as superior to everyone. They're just not social. That's basically their thing. They're not social. They never were going to be socializing with anyone. So they just keep it to themselves and whatnot. The only reason why they allow species like the Fujians, who are not really warriors at all, just diplomats, the Rumarians, who are just warrior culture-like but very tribalistic in nature, and the Barcetta, who later on in the centuries would join the Vol'jian Empire later on in their history. So to understand this, Vol'jians, it was very rare to let anyone else join their ranks. They're very similar to that of Spartans. In times of peace, they just don't feel comfortable. So the idea is that yes, Vol'jians are very powerful warrior-like, but they're not exactly. In times of peace, they just don't feel too comfortable, and whenever they're in times of peace, they just want to get into a fight. But their hatred towards everything like the Chiss, for example, was even more stronger than that of the Rakata ever since. But unfortunately, Vol'jian culture and society would fall apart time after time, century after century, but keep regrowing back and back. It was more like a back and forward type of thing, as we all know. Hence why we see the Vol'jians over time always getting involved in military affairs. They don't really get involved in galactic affairs that much. It's just rare. And the ones I talked about in the past, those videos, those were just rare times the Vol'jians ever got involved in galactic affairs. They usually just keep it to themselves. Hell, they even honor bound, and they will support their allies no matter what. For example, they helped out the Yuuzhan Vong. They never broke their promise with the Vong after the Yuuzhan Vong War, unlike Mandalorians who just broke their alliance at the end of the war. Vol'jians, they never break their promise. They will support any allies that they could. This is also called honor bound for the Vol'jian, vocabulary or term. And so the idea of the Vol'jians that they're honor bound and warrior culture like. Really, there's nothing much to say other than the fact that their society is just, and their culture is built around warrior and warlike, like most species would. There's nothing much to say other than the fact that they're just warriors. And that's basically it, really. I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. They're interesting fan-made faction I made in Star Wars. Now I would just have to focus on other projects and get those stuff out of the way. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Hit like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.